Welcome to the Royal Calcutta Turf Club, the Calcutta Races Monsoon meeting, 5th day, Thursday, 29th of August 2024 race preview. The first race of the afternoon, the Stein Lane Handicap, for horses rated 1 to 26, which were in station in Kolkata as of 1st of July 2024 to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. The first runner we are looking at is Aeropoli. Aeropoli has had 3 starts so far, was slew out in its first start, where it finished on 3rd in a small field of 4th, and in a field of 6 in race number 88 finished on 4th, and finally in the last race in Battle of 2 finished on 2nd, almost a distance behind the winner, Lady Sunshine. The mount of Yash Naidu is Aeropoli, win legend out of Hua Hua Vai. We had 4 runners which went up against each other in race number 14. Banksy, who took the turn in 10th spot, eventually made a couple of placings. Banksy was a little slowly out of the gates and eventually finished on 8th. We had horse number 3 Blue Chip, who raced in 4th spot for most while, then dropped back and finished on 5th. We had number 5, which is Wink and a Smile, who took the turn in 5th spot, eventually dropped back to finish on last. And finally we had number 8, which is Made in Heaven, which was its second start of the season, both time finished on 3rd. The winner here was Tess, who eventually got the race by a couple of lengths.
5th day, Thursday, 29th August 2024.
We're looking at race number 21, where we had Sunflare, we had Sun God and Fair Council. Sunflare definitely the eye catcher among the 3, who was in 7th spot as the horses turned for home, then came up with a run and eventually got on to 2nd place, beating off the 3rd horse. And the other 2 runners, Sun God, who raced in 9th spot and eventually finished on 9th. Fair Council, who raced a little wide throughout, eventually finished on 2nd last. The winner here was Tender Heart. Couple of runners from race number 15, Historic and Primo Victoria, which was both of their second start of the monsoon season. Earlier on, Historic finished on 2nd in race number 2. Over here, Historic took the turn in 3rd spot, staying on in 3rd. And Primo Victoria, who early on in race number 8 finished on 5th. Over here, Primo Victoria was leading the pack until the last 200 meters, where it started to rapidly drop back and eventually finished on 4th of 5 runners. The winner here was Oramello, who won the race by 9 3/4 of a length. We move on to the second race of the afternoon, the Pentagon Handicap, for horses rated 21 to 46, rated 1 to 26, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1800 meters. The first runner we are looking at is Oramello, which was Oramello's second start, and she earlier finished on 4th in race number 1 behind Chili Lady. Over here, Oramello was in 2nd spot. When asked for an effort by Neeraj Raval, the response was immediate and blasted away from the field and won the race by a widening margin of 9 3/4 of a length, beating Aretha into 2nd. Number 2 is Satibur, has met one better each time in this season. First up in race number 2, finished on 2nd to Donna Sienna, almost 2.5 lengths behind the winner. Then race number 17 again drifted out on the outside of the track and eventually finished on 2nd, almost 2.25 lengths behind the winner, which was Main Street. Satibur today ridden by A. Sandesh. Looking at a couple of runners, this is from race number 3, Abhidyan and Hermes. Abhidyan, who came down from Bombay, took the turn in 7th spot, asked for an effort, then dropped back and finished on 8th of 10 runners. Hermes, who was in 5th spot, came up with a run towards the inside and eventually finished on 4th. The winner here was Donna Sienna. Number 4 is Inverness. Inverness came down from Bombay, first start on the Calcutta Monsoon track in race number 4, where it took the turn in 4th spot. When asked for an effort, Inverness dropped back slightly and eventually finished on 6th. The winner here was Trahila. Today the mount of RS Bhatti again is Inverness, is by 10 star out of Sans Spray. Number 5 is War Trail. What a start for War Trail in race number 8, where it made every post a winning one. The one we are looking at is from race number 23, where War Trail again tried a similar tactic, but then into the last 250 meters started to really drop back and eventually ran out of gas, finished on 4th of 8 runners. The winner here was Wonderful, who got the race by 3 parts of a length from a late finishing Sicily. We move on to the third race of the afternoon, the Unleashed Handicap for horses rated 61 to 86, weight 41 to 66, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1600 meters. First runner we are looking at is Sea Lion, who's Phoenix Star out of Tropical Blue, and Sea Lion was having his first start on the Monsoon track this time, where took the mantle of the front running role and took over the running at the start and kept leading into the home straight, but where it started to really run out of gas and eventually finished on 5th. Should come on from that run today the mount of S Saba, who's claiming 4 kilos off. 3 runners which went up against each other from race number 13, True Marshall, Dandi Satyagraha and Tiger Mountain. True Marshall, who took the turn in 3rd spot, dropped back when asked for an effort, finished on 5th. Dandi Satyagraha, who was racing in the wrong end of the field, came up with a big run on the outside and eventually finished on 3rd. Tiger Mountain, who was racing in 5th spot, made up a placing and eventually finished on 4th. The winner here was Merope, who won the race by almost a distance. Number 5 is Clever Hans. Clever Hans had a very decent winter season, where it signed off the season with a win. This season, in the monsoon season, in race number 25, Clever Hans was a little out of sorts, took the turn in 10th spot, made up only one placing and eventually finished on 2nd last, 9th of 10. The winner here was Leatherback, who got the race by almost 2 lengths. Today, Clever Hans the mount of Vinay Jaswal again. Dragon's Gold is number 6. Couple of wins for Dragon's Gold, the last race in the winter season and the first race in the monsoon season. But the start we are looking at is from race number 12, where Dragon's Gold was in 4th spot, as you can see in the pink and purple jacket, and eventually dropped back, finished on 2nd last. Today the mount of Hindu Singh is Dragon's Gold. We move on to the 4th race of the afternoon, the Argiano Handicap Division 1 for horses rated 41 to 66, rated 21 to 46, eligible to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality, to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. The first runner we are looking at is Burmese. Burmese had a decent winter season, where it had a win and a couple of placed efforts. The start is from the current season in race number 12, where Burmese was a little slowly out of the gates, was brushed up, was in 3rd spot as they entered the home straight. In the early exertions took a toll, and eventually Burmese finished on 5th of 7 runners. The winner here was Zuma, who won the race Battle of the Greys. Couple of runners, Stunning Force and Sporting Trainer. This was from race number 26 in the current season, where Stunning Force was in 6th spot as they entered the home straight, made up a placing and eventually finished on 5th. Number 8, Sporting Trainer. Sporting Trainer was in 10th spot, made some gains towards the late end of the season, the race, but took the inside run and eventually finished on 8th. The winner here was Natural Grace, who got the race in the shadows of the post. Number 3 is Tusa. Tusa had a decent winter season, a win and a few placed efforts. This was in the current season, race number 16 in the monsoon season, where Tusa was in 4th spot and when asked for an effort did not really accelerate, was jumping up and down in the same spot. Today the mount of Vinay Jaswal as Tusa. Number 4, Dubai Star. Dubai Star had a couple of wins in the winter season and a couple of placed efforts. The start we are looking at is from the race number 187, where Dubai Star was in 5th spot when asked for an effort, dropped back and eventually was finished on 7th of 10 runners. And today the mount of R. Bhaibab, Dubai Star should run better when out fresh. Number 5, Fancy Nancy, who also had a very decent winter season. 4 races, 4 placed efforts. The start was from the race number 170 in the winter season, where Fancy Nancy was really racing in the wrong end of the field, but came up with a run from out of the clouds and finished on second to 26 Black, just by a half a length. Number 6, True Faith, who came down from Bangalore with a win behind his back. First start in the season in race number 116 in the winter season, where True Faith was in 6th spot and made some late gains down the center and bridged the gap with the runaway leader, but eventually could only finish on second to the amount of J.H. Arul. We move on to the 5th race of the year after the Argiano Handicap Division 2. 4 horses rated 41 to 66, rated 21 to 46, eligible to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters, to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality. First runner we are looking at is Raffaello. Raffaello had a start in race number 16, where was in 3rd spot, seemed like was really struggling, but then into the last 200 meters started really flourish and eventually came out and finished on second, almost a distance behind the winner, which was Global Influence. Number 2 is Basharat. Basharat had a decent winter season where it won a race and finished on 4th couple of times. This start is from the current season, where Basharat was again slowly out of the gates, took the turn in 6th spot and stayed on in 6th. The winner here was Dragon's Gold, who got the race by about a length. Number 3 is Star Justice. Star Justice has had a few starts in the winter season. Started the season with a second place efforts behind Kalahari Gold. Then another placed efforts in race number 108. Then a couple of unplaced efforts, including the run we are looking at is from race number 185, where Star Justice took turn in 6th spot, stayed on in 6th. The winner here was Dragon's Gold, who eventually got the race by length and 3/4. Number 4 is Multistara. Multistara has had a few starts in the winter season with a couple of placed efforts. The start is from the current season in race number 26, where it went over 1200 meters, took the turn in 5th spot when asked for an effort, dropped back and eventually finished on second last. The winner there was Natural Grace. Multistara today ridden by R. Bhaibab. Number 5 is King's Retreat. This was from race number 18, where King's Retreat was ridden by R. Bhaibab. At one point, King's Retreat looked like had the measure of the runaway leader. Then there was a late surge by Felix, and all King's Retreat could do was eventually finish on 3rd, but should come on from that start the amount of A. Sandesh today. Number 6 is Gimler. Gimler has had a start in the race number 10, where Gimler took the turn in 8th spot when asked for an effort, made up a placing on the wide outside. As you can see, eventually finished on 7th of 9 runners. The winner here was Cristaldo, who eventually got the race by 3/4 of a length. Gimler today the mount of Ankush. Number 7 is Amalfitana. Amalfitana has had a couple of starts in the winter season. First start finished on 4th. Then in race number 108, the one we are looking at was a little slowly out of the gates, took the turn in 13th spot and eventually finished on 13th, as you can see on the top of your screen in the yellow and dark blue swastika. Today the mount of Piyodai is Amalfitana. We move on to the 6th and feature race of the day, the HPSL Calcutta Monsoon Sprint for horses 4-year-old and over, to be run over a distance of about 1200 meters. First up, we are looking at Agnostic. This is from Mysore, where Agnostic had won in an earlier start in race number 13. This is from race number 83 there. Agnostic was in 5th spot and came up with a run down the center and eventually just missed out in a 3-way photo by a short head and a long neck. The winner there was Ohan Sini. Agnostic today ridden by Yash Naredu. Number 2 is Cool Rider. Cool Rider had a couple of starts in the winter season. Started the season with a win in race number 62, then in race number 76 finished on second to Time and Tide, who went on to win the sprint championship, and Cool Rider today the mount of J.H. Arul. Number 3 is Atosha. Atosha has had a start in this season where it was carrying 59.5 kilos, giving chunk of weight to the eventual winner. Clifford was in third spot, then came up with a run and really bridged the gap with every stride, but eventually fell short by almost length and a quarter. Today the mount of Neeraj Rawal is Atosha. The other runner we had was Amazonia. Amazonia was racing in fourth spot for most while, then dropped back and eventually finished on fifth. Number 5, Eternal Princess. Eternal Princess, the start is from the current season in race number 25, where Eternal Princess took the turn in 6th spot, made up a couple of placings on the wide outside and eventually finished on 4th, just missed the place money. The winner here was Leatherback. And finally, number 6 is Gazino. Gazino has had a couple of starts in this season. In race number 5, finished on 3rd after being a little slowly out of the gates. This run we are looking at is from race number 19, where Gazino went over 1400 meters. Not a distance Gazino prefers, but was in 5th spot. Made up a placing and eventually finished on 4th. The winner here was Flying Scotsman, who got the race by 3 1/4 lengths. Gazino today ridden by Sujit Kumar Paswan again. We move on to the 7th and last race of the day, the Alibi Plate for maiden horses 3-year-old only, rated 21 to 46, grade 1 to 26, eligible to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality, to be run over a distance of about 1400 meters. First up, we got a couple of runners, Colonel Saab and Banduk Wali. Colonel Saab, who came down from Bombay. This was his first start, where it took the turn in 6th spot, eventually dropped back and finished on 7th. Number 10, Banduk Wali, who's had 3 starts so far in her career, took the turn in 9th spot, made some late gains and eventually finished on 5th of 10 runners. The winner here was Donna Sienna, who eventually got the race by 2.5 lengths. Number 2 is Dubai Princess, who came down from Bangalore after a couple of starts there. Was installed the favourite in race number 22, which was the Calcutta Juvenile Sprint. Was in the lead most while, but then got into a ding-dong battle with Trahila and eventually just fell short by half a length. Dubai Princess today the mount of A. Sandesh. Number 3 is Mahatangi. 3 starts for Mahatangi so far. A couple of placed efforts in the winter season. Started the season with a poorly placed effort where was leading the pack, but then dropped back when asked for an effort. Mahatangi towards the inside was perhaps got blocked for room and finished on 6th of 9 runners. The winner here was Cristaldo. Number 4 is Champagne Supernova, Dali out of Friendship. 3 starts for Champagne Supernova. First up in race number 75, finished on 2nd. Race number 85, finished on 5th. The last start, the one we are looking at, is from race number 146, where was in 2nd spot for most while, as you can see in the top of your screen, in the purple and green cap. Eventually finished on 3rd by almost 2 1/4 lengths behind Byberry, who won the race. Number 5 is No Worry. Couple of starts for No Worry after coming down from southern India. First start, it finished on 3rd in a race of 10 behind Donna Sienna. Last start was in 3rd spot for most while, but did not really build on that. Finished on 3rd. The winner here was Main Street, who eventually got the race by 2 1/4 lengths. Number 7 is Aurum, who's had a couple of starts in the winter season. First up in race number 75, finished on 3rd in a field of 5 behind Global Influence. Then in race number 93, went over 1200 meters, was in 5th spot for most while, and eventually finished on 5th. As you can see in the top of your screen, the red and white. Today the mount of R.S. Bhatti is Aurum. Number 9 is Alexa. 3 starts for Alexa so far. In race number 75, finished on 4th in a field of 5. In race number 132, finished on 10th. In the last start, the one we are looking at is in the current season in race number 2. Took the turn in 7th spot, made up a placing and eventually finished on 6th of 7 runners. The winner here was Kindred Spirit, who got the race by 8.5 lengths. So that's the lineup for the day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching and see you at the races.